So we're on the last day of crashing into things. Last day of week 16, aka week 16, day 7, or day 1 or day 0 of week 17, depending on who you ask. And also, excuse me, I've just had breakfast, so I am drowsy as hell right now. And nauseous. Very freaking nauseous. So tired. It's actually weird. I've actually struggled. The second trimester, things are meant to get easier, things are meant to be normal, you're meant to have more energy. I think I've mentioned this earlier in previous vlogs as well. I'm having the opposite. I'm actually more tired, I'm more fatigued in this second trimester than I've been in the first trimester. I'm shattered. But I'm not shattered in a way that's unbearable, it's just irritating level of fatigue because you finish eating and you're tired. You do anything like walk upstairs and you're tired. You go outside for a walk and you're tired. Have a conversation with someone and you're tired. It's just... any sort of energy expenditure causes tiredness. It's really irritating. But other than that, to my knowledge, baby is doing well. I'm meant to be having my first antenatal consultation tomorrow, and unfortunately that has been cancelled and rearranged for an additional 2 to 3 weeks time, which is quite irritating because it was meant, according to my midwife app, my first antenatal consultation should be last week or this week, and because of the strikes currently happening in the NHS, which are completely understandable considering the doctors are getting well below what they should be getting paid. A lot of them are on strike, or a lot of them are taking time off in protest, and because of that they're having to push a lot of appointments back because they're on skeleton staff at the moment, which is not good in people like me's situation, or people suffering with terminal illnesses situations, or even people going through diagnostics and their diagnostics are getting pushed back an extra 4 months. But this is what happens when the government does not fund the system that it created. This is what happens when they don't pay people what they are worth and what they are valued. I found out the other day there was a GP on Instagram and she actually shared her payslip and what she gets every month. She barely earns the same as me. I'm not even kidding. She barely earns more than minimum wage. She earns about, after tax, she gets about 2,000 a month, which is not a lot. For a doctor, especially, that is not a lot. For someone who's gone to medical school for years and years and studied to make sure that they are as best as they can be in order to save people's lives, and to sacrifice years and years of their life to helping and saving others, and spending 14, 15-hour shifts saving lives, burning themselves out and risking all sorts of mental health issues, let alone the physical aspects of it, to only get paid not much more than someone who's on the lowest level income is a bit naff. Like, granted, I'm not on minimum wage anymore. If I was on minimum wage, I'd probably be pulling in about 1,500 at the moment, which around this time of year is what I do. And even then, the fact that the doctors are only getting £500 a month more than that is just ridiculous. That's actually lower than what doctors were earning 10 years ago. So the wage has gone backwards, but yet cost of living keeps rising. It makes no sense. It's going to get to a point where everyone, including highly qualified professionals, are going to be on minimum wage at this rate. We're already almost there. We're already almost at that point. I remember a time when people became doctors because, granted, as well as the fact that they wanted to help people, they earned 70,000 a year, and now a junior doctor or someone who's just freshly qualified is barely on 27 to 30,000 a year, which is just ridiculous. You can get the same amount of money being a manager, or a similar amount of money being a manager in a retail store, as what you can earn being a newly qualified doctor. Makes no sense to me. Anyway, that's my ramble for today. Sorry about that. I went off on a bit of a tangent there. I've got a quiet day today because of the heat. The heat has caused me to have to drop all my walks to 30 minutes. And I do need to pop over and see my niece and nephew at some point today because my mum and dad, who they currently live with, are on holiday. And my sister, their mum, is working a 10-hour shift, so she can't stay with them all day. So I need to pop over and see them and spend some time with them, which is going to be nice. I've not seen them for a while now, so it will be nice to see them and just check on them and maybe help them get something for tea. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see when we get there. I also want to try and do some exercise today because I now have the space. I now have the space to exercise. Like, my living room is still atrocious, but I at least have some space in the back kitchen or in the dining room so I can actually do some exercise in there now once I actually work out where my yoga mat is. Buried somewhere around here, I'm not too sure where, but whenever I find my yoga mat I can then do some exercise in the kitchen. And I can also do some exercise at my mum's house if I want to, because she's got carpet down, which makes it easier to move around and kneel down and stuff. So that's the plan for today, is go to work, hopefully spend time with niece and nephew, and then do some exercise either at my mum's house while I'm with my niece and nephew or when I get back home, but we will see. And I don't know what exercise we're going to do yet. I might do the SMM, Tom Morrison's SMM. I might do the hybrid calisthenics. I don't yet know. I just know I need to do something. I just need to do something at this point. So we are on week 17, day 3. Apparently baby is the size of a potato. When it comes to nutrition, most of what you should be eating during pregnancy matches a standard healthy diet. This should include whole grain sources of carbohydrates, abundantly rich coloured foods and vegetables, and lean sources of protein like chicken, fish, eggs and beans. All I've been eating is eggs. And no, it is not one of my cravings. I still haven't had any cravings because I don't really trust myself cooking chicken. And the last few times I've had Jason cook chicken, he's left gristle or fat in it, which just made me gag. And the last time I had salmon, there was a couple of pieces of scale in it, which made me gag. I've really struggled to actually eat chicken or salmon ever since. It's become a bit of a food aversion for me. So eggs are my only real safety. And I nearly lost that safety a couple of days, when was it, yesterday? Yesterday, I ate an egg. Oh, my noodles are ready, please bear with me a moment. Sorry, just had to get my food. I'm having egg noodles and broccoli this afternoon, which is like become a bit of my go-to meal. I can't actually remember what I was talking about. That was it. I've missed a few days, sorry about that. We've actually had the roofers in over the last 2 days and they have been fixing the roof. So there's been banging and noise and craziness and hell. On top of that, we've had another heat wave. And yesterday it got up to 32 degrees C. Today it nearly got up to 27 degrees C. Yesterday I actually had to cancel work again because it was just too hot to walk the dog safely. It was too dangerous. So I ended up having most of the day at home and I was really struggling with the heat yesterday. To the point where we had to have the window wide open all night and that was still too hot. I didn't have any duvet covers on and nothing last night. It was so warm, it was so boiling, and I woke up this morning exhausted, like beyond exhausted. I really struggled to get out of bed, and not long after I had my breakfast I had another exhaustion spell and I actually fell asleep in this chair. I literally fell asleep in this chair. Jason was next to me because we've got our desks set up next to each other, as you've seen. I was saying to Jason how I'm just so exhausted, a wave of just exhaustion has just hit me, and I just remember my head falling back, my eyes closed, and I was gone. I was literally just sat here for about 15 minutes, completely gone. It's been too hot to do anything. It's been too hot to train. It's been too hot to stretch. Probably not too hot to stretch, but I have been told when the weather is hot like this not to do too much because I'm already overheating with baby. Yeah, it's not been ideal. It's not been ideal weather this last few days, and which is annoying because I was really hoping to actually maybe start running again this week. I was hoping to maybe start exercising again this week, and none of that's gone to plan. But what can you expect when you're in the middle of moving home? We've still got a load of stuff to unpack. We're almost there. We're almost there. We've almost finished unpacking. We've still got quite a bit to go, but it's all bric-a-brac and paperwork and things like that. So it's all non-important things. All the main stuff is actually out now. Jason has just gone back to the old house because, as I think I've explained before, the old house is actually owned by my mum and dad. So we still have access to it and we still have a couple of bits over there that we need to bring over. But again, they're non-essentials, they're non-important. They're like decorations, clothes that are bagged away that need to get put in the loft and things like that. So those are all still at the old house. So Jason's actually gone over there today to pick up the calisthenics machine because we've not had the space to actually bring the calisthenics machine over. And now that we've got rid of all the boxes behind me, we have space to put the calisthenics machine in. That is going to be the exercise corner, so to speak. So we're going to have the calisthenics machine in that corner, hopefully, and then the exercise equipment. We want to put some shelves up next to the calisthenics machine and hopefully have all the exercise equipment on the shelving. But that's a work in progress planning sort of scenario. Alternatively, we're going to keep the bookshelf or one of the bookshelves in there and use that bookshelf as storage for the exercise stuff, but we've not really made up our minds just yet. But either way, we're going to have an exercise corner so we have space to exercise. Jason has been saying how amazing it's been being able to exercise on a nice big empty floor. Finally, we do have a little bit of space to exercise. It's just been too hot for me to physically exercise, which is annoying, but it is what it is. But other than that, all is going well. I can't remember if I mentioned it previously, but I have started to feel baby move a lot more now. Previously, since about week 15 approximately, anytime I lay on my back, I could feel if they started moving around, like right on the back of my spine. And that would obviously cause me to roll over or remind me, it's like, oh, I'm not meant to be on my back. But I'd say this last week, it's been getting more and more obvious. It started as what I can only describe as gas. It started like that feeling where you've got bubbles of air going through your intestine, getting ready to come out as a fart. It felt like that, but at the very, very front of my abdomen, and sometimes slightly to the left, sometimes slightly to the right, depending on what was going on the inside. And it only happened now and again, and I was like, is that baby? Do I just have gas? And sometimes I would actually need the toilet or need to fart not long after. So I wasn't too sure whether or not it was baby or it was gas, but I've now been told that it probably was baby moving, and it was because baby was moving that's allowed things to move through my intestine to allow me to then go to the toilet. But these last 4 days, especially since Monday, I have definitely noticed baby moving. We're not at a point where Jason can feel it yet, but I can definitely feel it. It's very achy, very, very achy. It's a very achy sensation. It still feels a little bit like gas, but at the same time it doesn't. At the same time it feels like I've twanged a muscle, or I've stretched in a weird way and my muscles are pulling, or it feels like when you've got really, really, really bad gas and your stomach is bloating and it's really rumbling, it sort of feels like that, but with an ache sort of sensation to it. And apparently that is normal. Apparently that is normal sensation for it to feel achy, because that is basically when baby moves and they're stretching your muscles as they go. So yeah, that's exciting. I don't know why I wasn't particularly excited by it. A lot more people around me were more excited by it than I was. I was like, oh, okay, they're moving, at least I know they're okay. I was like, okay, yeah, this is just the next step in the process. I wasn't very overjoyed is the wrong word. I still have a lot of worries that things could go wrong. I still worry that I could have potentially caught this Listeristus virus that apparently you can get from certain foods, which apparently you can get it from raw vegetables and raw fruits. How else are you meant to eat freaking fruit? Everyone eats fruit raw, but this is also why they recommend that you don't eat salmon and you don't eat luncheon meat and you don't eat hot dogs that hasn't been properly cooked, processed meats uncooked, and why they recommend you don't eat salmon uncooked or sushi in general or fish uncooked is because it has high percentage chance of it having this virus or disease or whatever it is that can very, very negatively affect baby. And that is still at the back of my mind, that just eating a bit of fruit could cause that. And I'm not worried about it, but it's like my brain is going into, how do I explain it, protective mode of something bad can still go wrong. So let's not get our hopes up. We still have a long way to go. We're not even halfway yet, which is it literally, the amount of people that say, oh my God, you literally, when you first get pregnant, you blink and it's over. It goes so quickly. You'll be like, oh my God, how are you at week 17 already? And I'm sat here going, it feels like forever. It feels like forever ago that I got pregnant. I feel like I've been pregnant since January, and I've not. I've only been pregnant since mid-April, start of May. But it feels like I've been pregnant forever already. I'm only 17 weeks in. It's become the norm to a sense. And I still don't feel that different compared to what I was like pre-pregnancy. I'm definitely more tired. I'm definitely more exhausted since the second trimester, which is weird because they say the second trimester is when you get more energy. I've actually found the opposite. I've actually had less energy than what I had in the first trimester. And I do wonder whether or not that's because baby goes through much larger growth spurts, or whether or not it's because the placenta is now attached and stealing my nutrients. I'm already low on iron anytime I have a flare up. And I obviously had a flare up not too long ago, thanks to the medication the midwives put me on. Since stopping that medication, I've not had a flare up since. But I do wonder whether or not that flare up has caused me to get low iron. And then that low iron has caused me to then struggle to build my iron back up before baby takes what they need. So I've had a couple of iron tablets. I've had 8 iron tablets this morning in the hope that that's helped, and that has helped. It's really reboosted my energy. So I think I might have a couple of iron tablets over the next couple of days. That was baby moving. That was definitely baby moving. probably telling me off for blaming them about the iron loss, is literally, the only way I can describe it is like if you get someone's hand and they like push into your shoulder or push into your arm. It's like that sort of feeling of someone pushing against you but from the inside out. They are a very wiggly baby, especially when Jason's around. They really like the sound of Jason's voice. Anytime they hear Jason's voice or Jason starts really talking, they get very wiggly. What was I talking about? I've already forgotten. I've already forgotten what the topic of conversation was or what I was talking about right now. Oh yes, I've had an iron tablet this morning and I'm going to have an iron tablet for the next couple of mornings just to make sure that my iron levels are sufficient. Also to make sure that I can physically get through the day because I don't want to fall asleep on my chair again because that's the sort of situation where I shouldn't be going to work. And I really can't afford to be off work anymore. I have had so many cancellations because of people going on holiday. So many cancellations I've had to make because of the hot weather because it's just not safe to walk the dogs. And then I've also had to make so many more cancellations because of my appointments and then my appointments changing position or changing date last minute and then more appointments getting added on, so then having to cancel more dog walks. Oh, they're really wiggly right now. Which is weird. I can't feel them most of the time they're wriggling. It's just every now and again I just get from the stomach. And they're not big enough yet for me to see like a foot or a head or anything popping out here, there and everywhere. But you can definitely feel it. I've got a feeling it's when they're stretching out, like really, stretching. Because it's literally just like the head's gone, you know what I mean? Did you know there is such a thing called lightning crotch? That just flashed into my brain just now. There is a thing called lightning crotch and it's apparently very common and it's normal when baby is in the second trimester and they're growing and you start to feel them moving. You get lightning crotch anytime they're quite low on the pelvis or anytime they are near the entry point, so to speak, or the exit point for these guys at this point, I suppose. Anytime they're near there and they're wriggling and they're moving and parts of their body are pushing against your pelvis, you get something called lightning crotch, which is like stabbing or shooting sensations in your vajayjay. I don't really know what else to call it because it's YouTube and you have to be careful what words you use on YouTube. But yeah, lightning crotch is a thing. It's a weird sensation because when you first feel it, you are a bit worried, like what the hell is this pain? Is this something I need to be worried about? And is it something I need to be concerned about? No, apparently it's completely normal. If it's severe, then yes, you need to get it looked at. But if it only happens for like a minute or two, it's most likely just baby moving. If it's constant throughout the day, then you do need to go get it checked. Or if it happens constantly, regularly throughout the day, then you need to go get it checked. Or if if it is attributed with any other symptoms like bleeding and stuff like that, you do need to go get it checked. But lightning crotch without any other symptoms and it only lasts for a minute or two, it's just baby moving. My God, it hurts. It literally just be perfectly fine, sat there chilling, and then all of a sudden out of nowhere, it just sting in the lower groin. This is fun. This is an interesting experience to say the least. Anyway, I need to stop talking because I need to eat and then I need to go pick the parrots up because the parrots have been at Jason's mum and dad's for the last 2 nights while we get the roof done because there was a lot of noise and banging while the roof was getting done and we didn't want to upset or disturb the girls, especially with the moment with Lyra being really spooky, so we need to go and pick those guys up. So I am going to finish eating and then once I've finished eating I can go pick up the parrots and then come home. And hopefully we will have a calisthenics machine at home from today, which means I can at least do hanging. I at least want to hang, like I need to stretch my back out so badly. So it's still...
That was rude.
I just said I was going to shut it while I record briefly because there's noise in there.
I was literally about to walk into it, you slammed it in my
face. I'm sorry. I didn't realise. So it's still week 17, day 3.
Slamming doors in faces.
This is doing on purpose. It's still 17, day 3. As you can see, there's still loads of stuff we need to pack away. Same in here. We've got bits everywhere that we still need to organise and sort through. However, we did go to the old house today and we picked up the calisthenics machine. I am so happy. We put it together this time. Last time Jason did it on his own because it was his day off when it arrived. But ducky. Poisoned duck Huel food pot. This time, because we've done it together, we've made sure it's extra secure so it's actually tighter. It doesn't make some weird noises now, it doesn't creak. And we've made it ever so slightly higher. So, one sec. So because it's now slightly higher, previously when I put my arms up, my arms are still bent. Whereas now my arms are straight at the moment, like from actually grabbing the machine. So it means that I can actually do a better dead hang. And I'm not going to do a dead hang right now. I'm just going to take a second to stretch out because it's been so long since I've stretched. And I've been stretching so much. Oh, I can literally feel the muscles in my biceps and my triceps tearing. Oh, from pure happiness. Oh, that feels better. Do not underestimate the joy of a good dead hang. Granted, I wasn't dead hanging. My feet were still on the floor because I don't know if I can hold my body weight with the extra body weight that I've had since baby. So it's something I still need to work on. It's one of the reasons I need to start exercising again. And now that we have the calisthenics machine, I am a lot more excited and a lot more motivated to exercise again. However, I've still got a long way to go. This just being in the house makes me want to exercise more. It's not going to stay in this room. It's eventually going to go into the living room in the back corner, where A, I've got better lighting, and B, it's just going to be a bit better space-wise. If not, it's going to go into that corner over there, which will be terrible for lighting, but it's going to be the best place for it to go, potentially. And it means I can easily take it in and out of the garden, which means I can actually train in the garden with the calisthenics machine, which is very exciting. It's going to be a nightmare getting it out, but it is technically physically possible. That is after the scaffolding goes. We still have scaffolding up from the roofers being here earlier today, which was fun, but I'm very excited because I can finally start exercising. I'm not going to exercise today because I am hot, I am sweaty, and right now I am hungry. So I am going to worry about food, and I'm going to worry about getting cooler because it is warm. Possibly open some windows just to get some fresh air blowing through here. But yeah, that's it for today. I will see you guys tomorrow. I don't know if that'll be a new video. I don't know if this will be the same video, but I will see you tomorrow nonetheless.